It's time for Pucknology. Pucknology. After dark. Oh my.
Oh my, indeed. It's a hockey night in San Jose, but it's also a hockey night in Canada. We welcome you to this edition of Pucknology After Dark, following a 5-2 Sharks victory over your they wouldn't be beating themselves, no. The Calgary Flames. Yes, that's it. Too many things going on in my brain, but oh well. If you want to be a part of the show, you can do this. You can follow us on Twitter at Pucknology, at Puckguy14, at AJ_Strong, at Eric Landy, at IRePucknology. Use the hashtag Pucknology After Dark to ask questions or comment about the show.
Jesus. We added our backhander to that list. This show will let anybody on.
Damn. And that's why you're on here. No, I can't. All right.
Wow.
With that, we welcome the crew in. Good evening to you, Mr. AJ Strong.
What's happening, buddy?
And Ian Reed.
Hey, for the record, it's always Hockey Night in Canada. That's all we do.
That's what I'm talking about. And, of course, the great Eric Landy.
Yes, this is where the cool kids hang out. I'm talking to you, Cisco.
All right, guys. So the Sharks went 5-2 over Calgary. I would say a strong showing tonight. What do you guys think? We'll start with Ian.
Wow. Okay. The game was awesome. Obviously, the Sharks
Wrong!
came out.
No, sorry, I had
The Sharks came out. They took care of business. They took advantage of an incredibly, our penalty kill and power play are bad. Yeah, Calgary has us beat in both departments for terribleness, and they took advantage of that. So that was good to see. And Jones made some key stops. I didn't like the last goal he let in, but whatever. You won 5-2, so who cares? Yeah, I mean, it's a good game.
AJ?
Hey, man, perfecto on the special teams tonight. That's a big thing for me. You know that. And, yeah, big bounce back. Nice to see Hurdle and Wingles respond to the benching. I tweeted out earlier, maybe we could bench Donskoy just to get him off the scoring schneid. That would be kind of nice. Dylan wasn't a complete catastrophe. Neither was Mueller, so that, of course, helps things. I haven't looked at the ice time yet. I'm assuming that Tennyson is on the low end. But nice to see what we're getting. Nice to see that the defense and the third line, that we're getting cooperation from the bottom six and off the blue line. So we're getting contributions from all around. That you can't ask for anything more than that. It's a good all-around win. We got that many people on the score sheet, but let's not start blowing each other just yet. This was Calgary, not Chicago. Let's see him do it against Chicago, but at least the boat is pointed in the right direction, it seems, again.
Landy, your thoughts tonight?
That depth scoring, I mean, we'd been preaching it for a little while, but it's good to see this team bounce back with some depth scoring. I mean, it had been a while since Wingles and Hurdle had been on the score sheet. I think you also kind of look to your bottom lines to help your top lines get into the game. I felt Jumbo was a little off his game tonight. Even though he had 2 assists, he still seemed like he was making some lackadaisical passes. I wouldn't say he was taking the game for granted or anything like that, but I do wonder if his legs were a little tired. He maybe had a little too much turkey or something.
Yeah, and you kind of always expect that coming off of a layoff and eating Thanksgiving turkey by all of us. I'm still enjoying it, by the way. Thank you very much. But I want to go over one big factor. We scored 2 power play goals, and not just 2 power play goals. We scored them within 50 seconds. Is this real life?
It's Calgary. It's Calgary.
Well, we have to start from the bottom and work our way up. So it's kind of it's a good start. It's a good start, and I like that they weren't in their usual positions per se. That Jumbo wasn't sticking by the half boards the whole time and waiting for the perfect pass. They tend to get the passes flowing a little bit more. Um, Marlowe's goal was from the point, so I thought that was pretty nice about that. But their penalty kill was pretty strong too. So
Yeah, and like AJ was saying, you do have to preface this with being Calgary. However,
Right.
Calgary gave us fits last year, and
Yep.
especially at home, and especially where you need the wins at home right now, and you need that power play and that PK to kick in at home. So yeah, it was against Calgary, and yeah, it should have been a game that we won handedly, but they needed to come out and prove that they could do it because they hadn't been showing it to us lately.
And it also helps too that this season 9-4-0 finished to finish off November. Last November 5-7-1.
yeah, a lot better, and they're showing a lot more confidence in it too. Ian, special teams definitely helped out big tonight. What did you say?
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. Like I said, off the top, they took advantage of a very weak penalty kill and power play for the Calgary Flames, and that's what you want to see. You want to see when there's a weakness, you want to see the Sharks exploit it, not just play down to it.
We lost
That was,
AJ.
well, that was a little bit of a hiccup there. You guys all froze for a second, and then we lost AJ. There he is.
All right, which one of you fuckers kicked me off here? No, just kidding.
All right.
Roll.
All right. Who's got Torrance running in the background?
Not me.
Not me.
Not me. I don't know what the hell it is.
I don't know.
Oh, I see what it is. I have Word and Excel open.
Oh. Of course.
So I mean, yeah, it was a good showing. I think Ian, you were kind of talking about the PK and the power play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just saying that the Sharks had to exploit the weak power play and penalty kill for the Flames, and you got to exploit. Previous the Sharks would usually play down to someone's level when they had a weakness. Tonight the Sharks went in and they got bloody and they took them out.
I just want to go ahead and say thank you for all the new viewers tuning in tonight. We definitely have at least 2 or 3 tuning in on the chat, and we appreciate everybody who comes and watches us, so thank you very much.
And subscribe if you're new, please.
Absolutely. Like Rocket says.
What does Rocket say?
Yeah, what does Rocket say?
What does the Rocket say?
You know what?
Yeah, dude, you better time it.
No. You know what it is? You know what it is? Is I heard Ian's voice on the live feed as I was checking the chat. So as I was gonna say, Rocket says that's okay. You got to be shitty before you get better.
That's true.
Absolutely.
And since the Warriors are 18-0, you're never going to get any Sharks coverage from the local media here in San Jose. Well,
that's why you got us.
Oh,
that's why you got us.
You know what? Okay, yeah, but let's touch on that for a minute. We did see a tweet earlier today regarding a local radio station actually talking a little bit about the Sharks for some godforsaken reason. The only thing I can think of being is because the Warriors weren't playing, and it's holiday weekend essentially, so they've got they got call-ups from the minors playing, and despite that, I was told that they still botched a player in that. Right? Somebody mistaked Carlson for Tierney or something.
Yeah, what it was I think he got in where Carlson was on for the fourth line. But he had good stats with Carlson. He just got him mixed up with where he was playing.
Well, at least they jumped on the bandwagon for like 5 minutes today. Good for them.
Absolutely.
It's better than nothing. I mean, I mean, not that I don't mind carrying all the weight for them, but it's nice to see them actually talk.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was nice to, and I jumped on a little bit today talking about how the development needs to be improved upon, and there needs to be a winning attitude in that. Because you gotta practice what you preach, and I say you practice winning when you're in the Barracuda, and then you can do it for real when you're with the Sharks. You know where that's leading to, folks, and we'll try not to go down that route.
Let's not go down that road. It's happy times. Happy times.
Go take it down the route. I don't care. Take it down. I don't ship it to shit.
We need something to complain about because the Sharks actually showed up tonight. So let's find out what to be angry about.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess let's kind of shift to some positives then. What did you guys think of Mueller and Hertl kind of getting into it tonight? I mean, it was kind of a little bit of an added dimension we haven't seen to their game. I mean, we've seen Mueller be a little snarly, but he, dropped the gloves, and I mean, it wasn't a big fight. But
Hertl seemed determined out of the get-go tonight. He was so determined to flip his game around tonight. Not that I thought that it needed that much flipping around.
No.
Wingles, I understood the benching. Hertl, that was a little bit perplexed. But, no, Hertl, oh boy, if we can start seeing this type of production out of the third line, I mean, holy crap, can we start rolling. And then when you get Couture back, and who was it? There was somebody who was guessing December 1st, December 2nd, we're going to see Couture back. Yeah, not going to happen. I think we had talked about it before. I thought we'd be lucky to get him back by Christmas. Yeah. Who knows? But when that comes back, holy crap, is that going to be fun.
And I just wanted to give a shout-out to Hockey Jerk. That was a question submitted by him, or her, I don't know. But they submitted it on the Twitter feed, using the hashtag Pucknology After Dark. If you want your questions read, use the hashtag Pucknology After Dark.
And Rockets.
Now, apparently it's his birthday, so I guess we should probably wish him happy birthday and then flip him off.
Nice.
What?
All right. Did somebody piss in Ian's coffee this morning? He's been a little on edge. You don't normally see angry Canadian Ian.
I think it's too much caffeine. You should have seen me typing earlier. It was pretty bad.
Wow. Wait, what kind of coffee?
Just pop.
What?
Or as you people call it, soda.
Oh, he got his caffeine intake from soda.
Oh, I was gonna say there's the perfect time for potential future sponsor Tim Hortons.
See, I had Dunkin' Donuts. I currently have that in my mug right now.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm getting mine from a different point of view, but
quick letdown. Kings win in overtime.
Oh, good for them.
Thanks a lot, Blackhawks. Thanks.
Yeah, when do
Thanks a lot, Blackhawks.
I like it on Twitter. It says, "You tossers had one job, Blackhawks."
Yeah. We got Slushy Jake also chiming in. Who'd you rather see right now in the sixth spot, Mueller or Tennyson?
Would you like to break my right or left kneecap?
Well played, sir. Well played.
Look, I like Mueller. I think Mueller has a lot of potential with Mueller. Obviously, his ceiling's much higher than Tennyson. Tennyson, what you see is what you get at this point, I think, with him. But, I guess Tennyson, because I'd really like to see Mueller, even though we got a decent amount of ice time tonight, if I look at my wonderful stats page here, Mirko Mueller played 11 minutes tonight, which isn't terrible. So I think that, but I'd like to see him playing, I'd like to see him playing 20 minutes a night in the AHL.
Well, and look who stepped up to the plate and got almost 22 minutes tonight, Mr. Brendan Dillon.
Well, that's gonna happen when you get propelled into the fourth spot.
Yeah.
At least he's attempting to earn that ridiculous contract. With me, I'm on the same wavelength as Ian there, where I'd like to see him get more minutes, but I think Mueller is potentially the better option. Aren't Mueller and Dillon Isn't one a lefty and one a righty, whereas Tennyson and Dillon are both shooting from the same side?
Mueller's a lefty, and Tenney is a righty.
He's already.
And Dylan's
Yeah.
a lefty.
Dylan's a lefty.
And Mueller is a
Lefty.
Lefty.
Okay, so it gives you two lefties. So, well, then, maybe that gives shit. I don't know. I mean, just like, left kneecap, right kneecap. Just, give him, do it in 3-game chunks or something. Give Mueller, the next game. Do you see him trending upward or downward? If you see him trending downward, give Tennyson some looks and give Mueller a few games for the Barracuda or something to get him more ice time. But it's either way, we still get back to the problem of defensive depth. Let's take into account this was Calgary, not the best team in the league,
No.
and this is also the first time the Sharks have won a game when one of their top 4 defensemen was missing. So we're still 1-4 in that department.
Yeah, and I think had we played a team with a better forecheck, a team with more talent, they would have burned Mueller and Tennyson because they both made some serious mistakes, and just the ineptitude of Calgary kind of prevented it from going in the back of the net. So, you got to wonder, is there some kind of move that Wilson could do? And we've talked about it quite a bit, but the salary cap and all the aforementioned kind of issues with trying to make a move.
Okay, we need to take a couple real fast. First, and we'll take these in order. The first, just calm down, puck guy. One of the best tweets so far, Chester Chivo. Mueller equals shit. Tennyson equals shit on fire. So you go with Mueller. I like that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But Ryan Baer on the Google chat is saying, do you think San Jose will add another defenseman down the road well before the deadline or at the deadline? Well, I don't think it's going. I mean, they might add somebody, but it has to be through a trade, right, Ian? Because they just don't have.
They won't have once Couture. Yeah, once Couture gets back, we're gonna have very tiny amounts of cap space left, so they'd have to trade. I think if they think that they can make some noise in the playoffs, then they might consider making a move to solidify that decor, maybe a rental or something. But right now the cap space just isn't there.
I just can't see him doing another rental when he's been burned on them so many times in the past.
No, and that's true. But I mean, do you really think that this decor, as it stands, is playoff ready? It's not. Like you have to add something if you really are seriously considering trying to be, a playoff team, which this team could potentially be come April. Then you have to do something. You can't just leave it as it is.
Yeah.
And sorry, I just cracked up in spontaneous laughter, but Chester Chivo has fired shots off the bow.
Yeah, dude, that screen cap is going to go down in history, bro.
It is not as good as the face of the franchise. This is what you're staking tickets on.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
This is kind of like a Home Alone. If he just had his hands like this.
For those of you that are new to the broadcast here at Pucknology After Dark, by all means, do yourself a favor. Follow at Chester Chivo and follow at Generation X-Wing, because they will pull some hilarity out of their poop shoots throughout every broadcast, generally.
They are Photoshop wizards.
Yes, and they take advantage. They don't give a fuck. They fuck with everybody. They fuck with everybody relentlessly. Okay, so getting back to some of the questions. So I don't know that they'll be able to add somebody, but if they were able to add somebody, do you think it would be for a lower end? But because you still have to give away, you're going to have to clear some cap space. Could you see them trading Marleau?
Well, I mean, trading Marleau would definitely move the cap, needle back down. But I think you also got to consider the cap coming the other way, right? So, I mean, right now the teams that you would probably be looking at dealing with would be bottom feeders. And some bottom feeders have internal caps, some don't. You talk about a team like Edmonton, they don't. But, it's not like you're going to be able to pry anything of value. maybe a good look. It might be like an Andrew Ferentz or somebody like that, who, he can barely kind of get in the lineup right now. Definitely better than Tennyson or Mueller at this point. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, something like that would be helpful. You wouldn't have to rely on Mueller or Tennyson to get you through the promised land and kind of like get you through that. Okay, I got a minute and a half to be scared with our defensive pair. That'd be great and all, but there's no way like Edmonton would go to or would ask for Patrick Marleau. And I would think that if anything, it would be like if Edmonton was making a playoff run and then you're putting Marleau in the division. That would be very scary. And let's not remind ourselves of how much of a nightmare it was to play Edmonton in the playoffs.
Yeah, I got a tweet from Hockey Jerk, and he said he'd like to see like a guy like Merrick Zidlick. Forget it.
Zidlicky.
Play with Dylan. Thoughts on that?
I mean, at this point, I think anything would be good to play with Dylan or to play with a combination of Tennyson and or Mueller. But the questions are going to be, what's the cap situation like?
Mm-hmm.
What's the ask in return? And, is there any other kind of factors that you got to think about going the other way? I mean, we don't have a first-round pick. True. So you've got to now dangle one of your seconds, and you've got to dangle a mid to high level prospect. And I mean, we've got a few forwards.
Yeah, but
still,
I mean, if you're talking Zidlicky specifically, I mean, he's only 1.5 million UFA next year, 38. I mean, you wouldn't? I don't see you having to really give up much. But the problem is, of course, if depending on what the Islanders would get back for Hamonic as well, because obviously they're going to have some, would they be so willing to part ways with him and lose Hamonic on top of that? Because after, that top three, that's not very deep on the defense.
Right. And they're going to lose Harmonic. It would be great to get him, but I doubt he would be wanting to come over this way, even though it would be in the Western Conference.
I mean,
Zidlicky would be great. I mean, just to get any type of good, solid defensive help to shore up the 5-6 pairing would be beneficial. And who knows, it might make even Brendan Dillon better. But Dillon has been playing fairly well. I mean, he was a +3 tonight. Yeah, and he had almost as much ice time as Vlasic did.
Yeah, but this is an aberration, not the norm.
This is the Vlasic effect.
Yeah, when this is the norm, then I'll be like, okay, he's worth that paycheck right now. But
you know what? Though?
Until that happens,
not a great stat. I know plus minus is a flawed stat, but he's second on the team with +7 right now, or probably +10 now with the +3 tonight. So I mean that's something.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? He's doing something, and yeah, he's not.
Man, look at how
Generation
confident
X-Wing.
one behind that.
Generation X-Wing with the tweet. Say dangle again. Say dangle again. Here, wait, ready?
Here it comes.
Row dangle, row dangle.
Slushy Jake comes back with, what about bringing back Josh Georges? I mean, that's a possibility, but again, you got to look at the cap numbers and see if it's right. You know what I found interesting? I found on I can't remember who exactly was talking about it, but the Sharks might be interested in Mike Richards.
Huh?
Yeah. Somebody said to watch out for the Sharks and Mike Richards.
With what?
See the same one who said Marleau would be traded before the end of November?
No, it's not. No.
Please tell me who came up with that bull kapuki. Because there's no way in heck that would happen.
I still want to know. Yeah, God, you know what? I should have copied that tweet or at least taken a screenshot because there was somebody that was like, I don't know if it was Friedman or who it was, but there was somebody that said that they were like betting that they thought that Marleau was going to be gone before the end of this month, and I was just like, Oh, please put some money on the fucking table on that one, please. Please.
I mean, as far as I remember, most of the big names were saying like it would be a deadline deal at best, just because of all the moving pieces. But yeah, I don't know.
So there's two guys that I'm circling around on Toronto. Roman Polak has a $2.75 million cap hit, and Matt Hunwick has a $1.2 million cap hit. Now Matt Hunwick also has got a year left on his deal, and he's only 30, so that could be an interesting name.
I want nothing to do with Roman Polak.
Agreed.
All right.
I know I'm a jerk. Really.
At this point, it's like you're throwing pasta on the wall and see what sticks. But it's going to be kind of one of those deals where you've got to have the cap numbers right. You're probably going to have to keep some cap going either way for whatever deal it is, and the price has got to be right. I mean,
It's all the stars aligning, and I'm not talking Dallas stars.
You know what, though? I think but Zidlitsky is the kind of guy that you're looking at. You're looking at an aging defenseman who's on a cheap deal so that you don't have to move anything super significant to get him. You're talking, again, a guy, $1.5 million, 35+ deal, nearing the end of the road just to kind of stabilize things in the back end. I think that's the kind of deal you're looking at.
Let's go to AJ for breaking news.
We have breaking news. You can start. You can put away your boards. Chester Chivo is one with the mentions of Rowe and Dingle. He has, in fact, gotten bingo.
There you have it. Oh, man.
And that was his name-o. All right.
That's right.
Moving on.
How about bringing over a player from overseas leagues? A lot of those leagues, if you're not significant, you probably don't have an out in your contract to just jump ship to the back to the NHL. So overseas could help in the off season, but it wouldn't help you now. There is in the chat.
Yeah.
What about? And here's an idea, because I remember we did it with Matt Carl about 10 years ago. What about getting Jeremy Waugh to come up?
No.
Junior's over.
Well, not until junior year is over.
Right.
And still, he is a very, very rough project at this point.
Yeah, he's
in the defensive zone. Sorry.
That needs to marinate quite a bit. But Ian, you might want to. I know there's a couple questions here in the Google chat you might want to take up on if you're aware of them.
I think the question was, what was the cap hit for Dinas Zubris? It was $600K.
$600K.
He was signed for the veterans minimum, two-way deal.
What else we got here? Morat 33 saying, trying to retain cap space. Yeah, I mean, we could get a team to eat cap space, although it seems like we like to make trades and then eat cap space ourselves, if you want to look at the Dylan Demarais trade.
Well, here's a question for you then,
Sure.
Ian. And I think I brought it up on a previous show. Can they, because we are holding back some salary from Jason Demers, can they trade that holdback salary to someplace else?
I don't think we can move. We could get a team to retain salary on somebody that there's coming to us. I don't think that if we retain salary on a player, we can't. I don't believe we can trade that retained salary space. That's a good question, though. I'm pretty positive we can't trade that retained space, though.
Damn.
No, yeah, because you look at the Chris Pronger trade, and he was traded to, his rights were traded to Arizona, and Philadelphia kept, I want to say, like half of the salary cap space or something. And yeah, but he's not playing, so you're trading his rights. So you're basically what you're trying to suggest is trading a player's cap hit even though you don't have the rights, and I don't think that flies.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive it just doesn't work that way. You can't retain. I don't think. I think you have the option to retain salary, which is obviously something they put in the CBA, so that trades could go back and forth a little easier. But once you retain that space, I don't think you can just trade that space away. So we couldn't just trade whatever we had left of Demarais cap space. We'd have to just try and make sure that they retained whoever we get may retain salary on the deal so that we can
Right.
sneak under the cap.
Plus the Bursch buyout, right? Don't we have some cap still on that? Was that a?
Wasn't Bersha compliant?
I thought that was Martin was a compliant, or no, Havlat.
Havlat was
Havlat
compliant.
was
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Havlat was compliant. Torres suspension does not take him off the books, unfortunately. So a suspended player does count against the salary cap.
But they did get salary cap relief from Torres.
Did they?
Yes, he's not on the roster technically.
Oh, okay, yes, because of when he was suspended. That's because of when he was suspended, though. So we kind of pulled a fast one there. But if he had been suspended mid-season, he'd count against the cap because he would have actually been on the active roster, which we didn't have to name until after he was suspended.
For those of you just tuning in, we don't do a whole lot of show prep. Just fair warning.
We just go with it and just pew.
Well, it's like a call-in show, right? And I mean, so you kind of go in having a little bit of an idea, but you kind of take a lot of questions, and that's.
Chris JWS saying Bursch was not compliance buyout.
Nope.
Bursch wasn't.
Yeah.
We owe $616,666 for the next 2 years on Mr. Bursch.
That was a crap signing.
Was it ever?
See, NHL Ties is saying Torres is not on the playing roster.
That's right, he isn't.
He is not.
Yeah, but it still counts towards the cap.
No, it does not.
Still count.
It does.
You should still count.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. All right, me and Puck Guy are going to vamp for 5 minutes while Ian and Landy try to figure out what the fuck we're talking about.
AJ, you ignorant slut.
Yes, well, I like that Jen says, I thought that beer was your prep. You are absolutely correct, madame. Absolutely correct. And I appreciate that you recognize that.
General Fanager has Rafi Torres listed in our cap numbers, which would make sense to me. What we gain from him not being named to the active roster is we gain that roster spot, because had he been suspended after the roster was named, then we would have lost the roster spot that Torres had. So Torres is counting against the cap as we speak.
Okay, so then we don't have to shuffle around when he comes back. That's at least something.
Yeah.
Right. But you also have to remember, guys, that with Logan at 6 and Rafi at 2, how much room do we have left right now?
No, so we have 4.8 right now, and that doesn't count Zubrus. So
4.8 million though is not counting because, and it's probably not updated yet because Justin Braun's not on the IR yet. But that's mostly Logan Couture being on the IR.
Yeah.
And then when Braun goes to the IR, you're going to add a little bit more money to that cap space. But as soon as those guys are back, Braun will be back probably next week. Couture, who knows, but soon. Once those players come back, we're going to have no cap space.
And for the viewers, Braun was placed on the IR today. It was not long-term IR. It was just IR. And...
it's retroactive, right? So he can play on, but he can't play against Pittsburgh, right? But he can play against Anaheim.
I thought he can come back on Tuesday, or he's off IR Tuesday.
Once again, fantastic show prep, as always.
He did have to the next level.
Doesn't matter. We'll get him back.
Just for everybody, he had an infection from a contusion he got against the Islanders. The last, it was basically
it
a
was
really
against the Flyers, I think it was.
No, it was against the Islanders at home. He said he had it on the entire road trip. He got stitched up by the staff in San Jose, and then it got
Landy,
and then he got a staph infection.
Yeah, see, Landy said infection, and all of a sudden Rocket is like this close to throwing out STD jokes.
Oh, no.
Apparently he was getting off the plane and felt really lightheaded and was not feeling so hot. So they went to the doctor and apparently had to have a little surgery to get all that crap out. And now he's on injured reserve. But he's got antibiotics and shouldn't be too long. He was day-to-day. And now it's on the reserve. So
yeah, it's retroactive though. So I mean, he could come off the IR as soon as Tuesday. Although Kerr says that we shouldn't expect it to be that quick.
Makes sense. Which is why the Sharks called up Dylan DeMello from the Barracuda, who, by the way, had a crazy 4-goal period earlier today at the tank, beating the Texas Stars 5-4.
It was a fun game.
That was a crazy game. They were down 1-0, and then they came crawling back with 4 goals, and then with 48 seconds to go, the Cuda scores, and they send everybody home happy. And is that like their second home victory of the year?
And Rocket is bringing it on the chat, which I knew was going to happen.
Man.
Man.
So just for everybody, in case you're on the mirror, Rocket's saying, what the fuck kind of hygiene does Braun have? Honestly, does he not even own Neil Sporn?
Wow.
Way to not be professional, Justin.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's wearing all those nasty pads. So here's one though from Ryan Bayer asking, will Ben Smith be an impactful player when he returns? I think that has a little bit more to do with DeBoer than Ben at this point.
He's concussed.
Yeah, but Ben still, when he is cleared,
his spot got taken by Zubris.
Yeah, he's going to have to bark his way out of Chateau Bow Wow in a big way, and I don't know how he ended up there, but he's been in the doghouse since the beginning of the season. It would not. We went over this the other night after the Chicago game that it's like, wouldn't you have rather we have kept Desjardins and left Smith in Chicago?
That's hindsight.
Yeah, it's hindsight, but it just makes me wonder what we're gonna do with Smith, because he's in the doghouse, and I don't know that he's gonna be able to play his way out of it when everybody is healthy. Plus, you signed Zubris. Now, Zubris can be sent down if we need to, right?
And
Yes,
that's a
right.
very important fact to keep in mind.
Yeah, so he can be sent down to make room for whether they want to give Goldie another look or whatever makeshift line they come up with that week, because you got to assume that at some point the bottom line is going to consist of Tierney, Torres, and whoever did good that week for the Barracuda.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like you look, you already have Barclay Goodrow sitting in the AHL. And especially when you get Torres back, I mean, who do you toss out at that point? You still have Nieto, you have Goodrow, I mean, and then you have Smith, and all these guys are basically fighting for the same spot, and I don't know.
Which is a good thing, because it might actually motivate these guys to get off their asses and get going. I mean, yeah, Wingles had a good game tonight. Hurdle finally got off his 14-game schneid. I'm starting to get concerned for Hurdle and how he's been playing. Fuck you, Dustin Brown.
Hurdle looks
fine though. Like this is the thing that really annoys me about this, is that like Hurdle has been one of the best guys on the team. He works hard. It's more of his position. Yeah, when you're not picking up nice cherries from Joe Thornton, you stop scoring when you actually have responsibilities and you have to actually go and hit people and.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the second highest faceoff percentage behind Jonathan Taves. I mean, give the kid a break. His two-way game is awesome at this point.
His two-way game is awesome. No, I'm not denying that. His faceoff percentage has been great. However, the offensive scoring has been a little bit rough. Now, granted, he's on the third line. Yeah, he's not on the first line, but I think they were hoping for him to be the creative one to have some chances with him on the third line, centering that, kind of filling the void of us, moaning and groaning about maybe putting Pavs on the third line for secondary scoring. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring that up.
Let's put that. Let's piss that fire up.
Along with Burns on offense.
Give me a second.
Yeah, none of that shit either. So on the Google chat, MoleRat33 is saying Smith has a 1.5 cap hit, trade bait for a bottom D man. In a perfect world, absolutely, but I don't know.
His trade value is pretty damn low.
Yeah, how great can your trade value be when you can't crack the bottom four of a team? But it wouldn't surprise me if and when he does clear whatever the protocols are in place and he's able to get back on the ice, it wouldn't surprise me if they maybe run him out there for 4 or 5 games to try to feature him to see if they can find a dance partner. But it's a nice theory. It's a nice hypothetical, but I just can't see Smith. How many? It's not like knuckle draggers and fourth liners are,
right?
burning up the NHL right now. But from Ryan Baer on the Google chat, when will Doug Wilson ever acquire that mid-season gem that's been eluding him since being the GM? Well, he did do that. It was Joe Thornton.
Exactly.
Other than that, though, you got a point.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rafi Torres was pretty good in his stint when he was first traded for.
When he first got him, but I mean that's been a disaster. I mean he's played what, a handful of games for the Sharks over a 2-year deal.
But the deal wasn't the problem. It was.
Oh, I know.
It was. Yeah, the deal was the problem. The trade was not the problem.
Right.
Well, I got a question for you guys. There are 2 names that we have not seen be brought up, but could potentially be ready. Would be Mark Kandari and Patrick McNally. Patrick McNally was very close to cracking the starting roster.
Kandari is the one that I'm a little surprised we haven't at least seen get 1 game.
Yeah, and he was a prospect out of the Calgary system for everybody who didn't know, and he was picked up on let me look at this here.
I thought McNally or Kandari was going to be like this year's what's that guy we got from Edmonton the year before?
Oh yeah, you're talking. I know who you're talking about.
Clearly you don't, because you're not saying the name, buddy.
Off my head. Too much pressure.
Don't worry about it. The best part is Chester Chivo says we'd be lucky to get a 7th for Smith. I think he means 7th beer. I'm not sure.
No, I don't know. It's funny because when we got Ben Smith, I mean, Chicago fans were really upset about that trade. Like, they really liked him. And I liked what I saw last year. I mean, this year he had trouble getting into the lineup because for some reason Mike Brown is the golden child for Sharks coaches, and I'll never understand why. I don't get it. And now that he's obviously got concussion issues, that definitely raises an issue. But it bugs me because I just feel like given the chance, I think that Smith could be a big piece of this roster. It pisses me off.
Well, we have one on. Oh, wait a minute. Fadoon's in Vancouver.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
That's the guy.
Oh, yeah, Fadoon's in Vancouver. Eager. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's not bring Ben. Dude, 2 shows in a row where we mentioned Ben Eager. When does this happen?
This is wrong.
That's just weird. Ryan Bear says he has yet to do a follow-up deal from the Thornton. Yes, I would completely agree with that. And Slushy Jake asking, what do you think was Wilson's best trade deadline move? Well, wouldn't that be Thornton?
No, but
he wasn't a deadline move.
I know. I'm just to him. It doesn't. Isn't he the one that says, "Well, we treat every day like it's deadline day"? So, best deadline move. I
got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, because everyone it seems is blown up into his face. Whether it was Bill Guerin, Campbell, it's just.
Well, look who's still on the team. I mean, what guy was brought in on the deadline that stayed besides Torres?
Yeah.
And he's, been effective when he's played, but he hasn't played all that much.
Yeah, see, that is the problem, is you feel really bad for Torres because the guy just never got a shot. It's just like every time he's about to take a step forward, it's 5 steps back, unfortunately, which is really disappointing. I would have loved to seen him get, just a good full season without any shenanigans or anything like that. I mean, the guy has not played a full season with the Sharks yet. That's the thing. That's the thing that makes the second 41 games of this season, he better just come out like a bat out of hell.
So he's had enough time off. Well, he's had enough time off to come out like a bat out of hell, and let's hope like hell he's learned and looked at videotape to show how to hit legally.
Oh, I don't put any money on that.
Yeah,
I think that if he can keep his hits low, I think that's going to be the best. The best that he can do. Just tuck the elbow in and hit low in center mass. That's all I.
So Patrick McNally is only dressed for 9 games for the Barracuda so far and has no points. Mark Kandari, let me scroll back up here. Mark Kandari's played 15 games for the Barracuda. He's only got 1 goal and 3 assists. And
what's plus minus? The minus 3?
But the Barracuda are terrible. So
oh my God! And again, we always go back to this every freaking show. It's the lack of depth in the minor leagues.
Mm-hmm.
It's the lack of defensive prospects in this organization that was touted as a defense goaltender factory for such a long time.
Woohoo!
And it's like, what the hell happened?
Hey, we gotta do a couple. Get to the chat. We love the interaction, and especially everybody that's new on the gig. Shout out to Noah Haight. I believe it's first time watcher, long time watcher, first time commenter.
Yes, there we
go. First time, long time.
Yes. Now Brian asks, hasn't Torres been practicing with the team? I don't know that. I haven't. Yeah, I haven't. I mean, Rocket.
What's the terms of the suspension? Because he might not be able to per CBA rules.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I know Rocket's been to some of the practices, so maybe she'd be able to let us know.
Because I know that. Because I know that when Rocket
is saying she hasn't seen him skate at practice, so maybe that is the case that he is in fact not allowed to skate with the team, which wouldn't surprise me at all.
I would think I've seen. I know Brody had mentioned that he was skating, but he wasn't skating with the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he can. I mean, remember the Kings got in trouble last year because this is a league suspension. This isn't like he was suspended by the team. He was suspended by the league. Right. And if you remember last year, Slava Voinov skated with the Kings, and there was a big a big fine handed down. So I can't see why Torres would be any different.
Exactly.
Oh, breaking news. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? For all of you who witnessed and had to suffer through and listen to that shitstorm of a broadcast on Wednesday night, listening to NBCSN pick up the Chicago feed and listen to those homers from the Midwest, guess what? We have an NBCSN game this Tuesday against Pittsburgh, and even though it's NBCSN, Randy and Jamie on the call.
Yes. Thank God it's not Doc and Pierre. Oh my God! It'd be Sidney Crosby.
Oh, Sidney Crosby is the greatest player of all time. You know, Sidney Crosby hasn't done shit this season, but he's still the greatest player of all time. Why? Because I love Sidney Crosby. I dream about him a long time. I'm Pierre McGuire, and Sidney. Oh, Sidney.
That's not right.
That's not right. Am I not accurate with what I'm saying?
No, because Pierre. Look, it's Pierre McGuire, so it'd be like, all right, Sidney Crosby played for Rimouski. What a monster! And then he'd probably tell you like the 8 teams he played for before he played for Rimouski.
He played for the Moose Jaw Pee-wees when he was in 14, and when I thought this guy was going to be something special when I saw him in 2002. Wow. Sidney Crosby, something else.
Yeah, if you hadn't already noticed, we're not
back
big.
To you, Doc.
We're not big Doc Emmerich and Pierre McGuire fans on the show.
You know what?
I don't mind Doc.
Nice segue on that. I don't know if you noticed. They just did a thing on Doc Emmerich, special. In fact, Brody Brazil posted about it on his Facebook page. And Brody kind of gave some kudos to Doc Emmerich and intimated that he did like him. And I've seen Randy has also posted a couple things. Now, maybe that is just like one broadcaster to another, just professional courtesy and whatnot. But I have yet to meet anyone who enjoys Emmerich's call at all. The fact that they're pointing out, it's like, he has 19 different ways to say pass without ever saying pass, and it's, who gives a shit? I don't care if someone. I've yet to see someone rifle a puck, slice a puck, knife a puck, swish a
I knife
puck,
pucks all the
wiggle a
time.
puck, waffle a puck.
Waffle board and away.
Yeah, I've just never seen that shit. I'm not a fan of someone screaming at me whenever the puck gets within like 35 feet of the net. I'm not a fan of hearing somebody
And
scream at
play,
me.
it comes to a stop.
I'm not a fan of hearing somebody scream at me that icing just happened as if it's the first time that it's ever occurred in the history of the National Hockey League. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. You give me, and I know Gen X, from what I gather, Gen X is an Emmerich fan, and that's fine. We all like who we like, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm a big Jim Hewson fan, who is one of Canada's top guys, and I know Gen X.
Houston's
And I,
awesome.
See, I love Houston too, but I know Gen X is so not a fan of Houston. But even the Canadian guys that I've talked to, when I ask them about Emmerich, they're like, "Oh no, you can have him. We don't want that."
Ryan asked, "What about Gary Thorne from ESPN, ABC back in the day?" I liked Gary.
Yeah, I didn't have. I really didn't have. Who was? It was Thorne, and what was the other guy's name?
Bill Clement, Kansas Cement.
Thorne and Clement. Yeah, I really didn't mind those guys much at all. But then again, it's been 10, 12 years since we've heard them, so who knows? My hindsight is 20/20 in that. And when you compare anything to Doc Emmerich, like root canal sounds like a more interesting thing to do for 3 hours than listen to Doc Emmerich. Now, and in Jones We Trust on Twitter says he loves Emmerich calls, and that's great. It's just for me, yeah. I can't do it, man. It's like Joe Buck. I just can't even. I can't. If there was any, I firmly believe that the phrase "I can't even" was somebody talking about Doc Emmerich.
In an alternate universe somewhere, Al Michaels is the perfect NBC NHL play-by-play guy.
I'm surprised they haven't used Michaels yet, considering that I don't mean to be mean or anything, but his whole career is based off of one line from a hockey game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
That was a little bit more Kermit the Frog than Al Michaels.
You see what happens when the Sharks win? This is what we're reduced to.
It's not easy being green.
There you go. Slushy Jake asks about Steve Levy. I hate that guy. His voice is horrid.
But he did have some good chemistry with Darren Pang, though. I did like him.
And
with Pang, I agree. With Pang, he's not that bad.
Okay.
I love Pang. What now?
No. Oh, listen to you. What now? Calm the crap down. It says, all right. Okay, here it is. Okay, Jen likes Doc. NHL Ty says they like Doc. Gen X on Twitter says, "Holy fucking hell, Houston is awful." So, see, as I said, there's some people that they like Doc, and there's some people that just don't dig him at all. And you know what? It's all good. It's all subjective. That's all fine. I think the one thing that we all can agree on is that Sidney Crosby is a bitch. Other than that, everybody, it's all fine.
Okay, so the thing that really kind of bothers me about Doc, and this will be the last bit for me, is his Midwestern cadence. I just don't like the tone. It's too nasally. It's too uptight of a call for me. It just gets me all riled up. And at least Randy is kind of calm and collected. And hell, I could even deal with the guy from Buffalo more than I could deal with Pierre.
Holy mackerel, roll the highlight film.
And Doc. I mean, just...
Who the hell brought Kermit back on?
Shut up. Actually, wait.
All
I can't do it. Oh, well. Yeah. For some reason, my computer decided to die on me while I was updating the standings graphic. So, I'm on my phone.
Go back to the computer.
Eric,
somebody mute AJ.
Eric, is that Windows 98 and AOL connection not doing it for you anymore?
I just upgraded to Windows 10 actually. So.
and the Gen X graphic in 3, 2.
Right, and NHL Ties makes a very important point here. So the NBC SN's late games or feeds are always 99% picked up feeds from their Comcast affiliate, and Pittsburgh's regional affiliate is Roots, not a Comcast network. Which is
Right.
why.
So
Fucking
Otherwise,
NHL Ties, man.
NFL, it would be Pittsburgh. I was going to mention that earlier, but I didn't want to get in the way of a good rant, so I just thought.
Oh, no, it's good. Fucking NHL Ties, they're goddamn, that good dude's all on that. Okay, here we go. Crispy Churro with the 0. This is the reason.
Hey!
He just brought up a great point, and I totally agree with it. He loves Jim Houston on NHL EA Sports, the game.
Oh,
and I have to say,
awesome.
That's one of the reasons also why, I don't know why, I love Jim Houston on that fucking video game. I don't know why, and I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy him on the rare times that I've been able to hear him call a game. No, I know, Gen X, you hate him. That's fine. It's fine. Just enjoy that. Some people like Chicago pizza too. That's fine.
It's not pizza.
Oh no!
What is going on here?
Oh no!
Tomato soup
No.
in a fucking bread bowl.
It's a pie, goddammit! It's not pizza.
It's a fucking quiche.
Ian, you have the buttons. Mute
Yeah.
for them. Oh my
David.
gosh!
I can't. The train's already too far off the track.
Oh
I can't say
man!
And Jen Doe on the Google chat saying, "I'm pretty sure that Crosby comment is considered treasonous in Canada."
No, it'd be treason.
I just laughed. I never said
it. Speaking of which, we actually might get to see McDavid at the tank. What do you guys think?
Wait, what?
Yeah,
like on
he's
the
all
big
ahead of
screen?
He's ahead of schedule.
Well, when is our on the 9th? Ooh, well.
No. The January 14th was the one that he was supposed to be projected to come back.
I see what you're talking about. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that'd be great. No, I'm totally down for that game. There's also some giveaway that night that I'm totally down for.
I've seen enough McDavid. I don't want to see any more.
What about?
I just want to see Drew.
Same here.
When's the next Heritage Jersey night?
Pittsburgh on Tuesday night. We will go full retro on Tuesday night.
In fact, I'm a little surprised that not like it's their call, but it did. I was a little bit surprised that they're doing Heritage on a national game, but that might actually be cool. So.
Well, it is the greatest, greatest jersey of all time.
And Randy and Jamie will definitely mention that for sure.
It's right here. It's the Hockey News says so, so you know it's true.
That's right.
I need to get a copy. Yeah, I need to get a copy of that myself.
You can get it online and ship it to your house. It was $8.
Wow.
Send me a link, bro, later.
Yes, definitely.
Oh shit! We are not getting into the fucking hot dog as a sandwich thing.
No,
Jake. Let it go, Jake.
No.
Let it go. You took. There have been Twitter polls taken. Let it go.
Yes.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Don't
let
you
it go.
I will tell you that I did have real pizza tonight. I had some New York style, thin crust.
That's not called New York style. That's called pizza.
Oh goodness!
Awesome.
What kind of pizza did you have though, Landy?
I had a pepperoni white stone. So if you guys don't know what a white stone is, it is the mozzarella parmesan with ricotta and some pepperoni on there. And then I had a deluxe, your standard black olives pepperoni.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus
I went with
Christ.
pepperoni, mushroom, and green onion. So.
How many fucking times has teal-tinted glasses devolved into some sort of clothing thing, and now we're all of a sudden we're like the fucking Food Network over here? And now
food and beer.
Yeah, okay, beer I'll give you. The food only if it's like food like that like hockey guy. Well, yeah, I mean we can talk about pizza because
Brent Burns
was with the Brent Burns.
Exactly.
NHL Ties putting out the perplexing question: is cheesecake a pie? No.
It's cake.
Cheese cake.
I put it in its own league because I just love cheesecake that much, but I'd probably be more on the cake side.
Well, I'll ask for your favorite flavor of cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory later. But let's get back on the topic, guys. So we have Pittsburgh coming up. Crosby sucks. I can say that because I'm in the United States and he's on my fantasy team, so I have a legit beef with him. That idiot.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Edmonton won. They beat Pittsburgh tonight, 3-2 in the shootout.
Mighty Pittsburgh. Way to go. Way to go. You know what's funny though?
Oh, did Crosby go another game without a point?
He got an assist. That's it.
Did you see that Malkin goal, though? That Malkin goal was sweet.
He was disrespecting the league again? Okay.
Yeah, disrespectful. Spinorama.
What I kind of found funny was Hockey Central Saturday had Adam Oates on as an analyst tonight, and the first thing they do is they talk about Alex Ovechkin, and I was like, oh, this is an awkward moment. I was just waiting for the Tomas Hertl interview right after it.
Okay, I have a quick question for the class. Actually, not so much for the class, but for Ian directly. Syrups have grades?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm diabetic. I can't drink. I can't eat syrup.
I know. Generation X says, don't get Ian Reed started on maple syrup grades. I don't know what the hell that means.
I'm sure. You know what? I can't eat sugar. I mean, I do anyway, but I shouldn't.
If it's not Aunt Jemima or Mrs. Butterworth, it does not go into my body.
Well, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, dude, you're missing out.
Missing out.
No, I'm just...
And so malking on to Pittsburgh.
Moving on to Pittsburgh. Okay, you guys vamp for a second. I need a new beer anyway. Go ahead.
Okay. So Malkin's been on a good run lately. Crosby hasn't. I would think we have a shot at this, especially since they just lost to Edmonton.
I mean, you got to also be worried that they're going to get pissed off at some point and, just fire off 8 goals in a game. I'm just still waiting for that, shoot a drop moment for the Sharks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they have a craptacular game waiting in their wings. I mean, I thought they played pretty solidly tonight. I think tonight was a really good one. I think Jones had a hiccup here and there. That was a perfect screenshot, thanks. But I think they've been playing pretty solid lately. Albeit, this is probably another one of their tests to see if they are who we thought they were. Because Pittsburgh has been playing well, but then they've had their hiccups. They're almost like the Sharks.
They're 4-4-2 in their last 10.
Well, they've been up and down, but I mean, they started out horrific. I think they were like one of the teams that started 0-3, if I'm not mistaken. And everyone was like, "Oh gosh, oh gosh."
AJ, do you mind telling us what you have on tap or on bottle?
High water or what?
We can't hear AJ.
Oh no.
Sorry, it is the High Water Campfire Stout. This is brewed with where is it? It says like graham cracker. Stout brewed with graham cracker, molasses. Holy crap! Is it good? You know what it doesn't have? It doesn't have any of this in there. How's that looking? Is that Canadian enough for you?
That looks fantastic.
Actually, that's a nice bottle there.
Is that cool? A friend of mine brought this back from Toronto for me. So it's only 2 things I've ever had from Canada: this, and then a night with a girl from Chilliwack. But other than that, it's
nice.
Wow.
All right.
So yeah, looking ahead to this Pittsburgh game, I mean, Pittsburgh, this decor just kind of makes me laugh a little bit.
If you couldn't think that there could be a worse decor than the Sharks, there is.
Like, you got Scuderi, Letang, Dumoulin, Lovejoy, Cole, and Clendening. Like, it's pretty terrible. I mean, obviously Ole Mata's out, which doesn't help anything. I still think the Sharks should be able to just roll them again. It's my thoughts.
You'd think. You would think. But
Well, that's what I'm saying. Roll.
Roll Tide. Oh, sorry, wrong sport.
Generation X-Wing out firing again with Puck Guy and and his little screen cap. Draw at Puck Guy like one of your French girls.
What?
What the hell am I missing?
That's what I'm saying.
Look.
I hate you. What the hell?
I love Gen X, dude. I know he gets me sometimes, but it's so worth it.
Again, to our new viewers, if you don't follow at Generation X-Wing or at
You done
Chesto,
goofed.
you need to.
These guys have some
Gen
twisted.
X, I really liked you early on, but now you're really getting on my peeves.
Oh, man.
Well, dude, you gotta say, dude, when you throw it up on a tee like that, you gotta expect him to swing.
Yeah, he swung for the fences there.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's great. Chester Chiva wants to know how your Thanksgiving was, guys. I would just like to start and say I had a fucking awesome Thursday.
Absolutely.
It was good. It was delicious. It was great. I put the yams and green bean casserole together, helped out with the mashed potatoes. I thought it was all very strong and very good.
Have we heard anything?
Thanks, Rocket.
Have we heard anything yet on anything in the way of like any production or how they plan on celebrating Marlowe's 1,000th point on Tuesday?
I would probably think that it would be kind of like the
Pre-game
1,000th
ceremony?
Yeah, it'd be a pre-game ceremony, 1,000th ceremony. I'm guessing we're the only game on NBCSN.
No, of course there is an early game, so whatever
then there you go, folks.
Yeah, whatever the pregame ceremony is for Marlowe, I'm sure we'll miss all of it, and we'll have to watch the game against Anaheim on Friday night pregame.
To see the highlights.
Yeah, to see the highlights of it. What was it? What was the accolade or the honor that Thornton received when Marlowe was at and like they gave Heatley and Marlowe or something gave him like this
The elephant tusk.
No, the elephant tusk was for games played, and the crystal stick was for 1,000 points, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, so should
So
be.
I think
cool.
Marlowe gets a crystal stick.
Hookers and blow.
Slushy Jake saying, "Ask Puck Guy who he likes more, Gen X or Drew Remenda." I'm gonna go with Drew on that by a slim margin.
Gen X all the way.
I will say this though. When I was a regular caller to his radio show, he did keep telling me, Eric, you do need to get a life.
Uh-oh.
So they're kind of.
That's rude.
Yeah, but that's Drew, dude. That's just
That's
what
true.
his humor.
That's true.
You know, yeah, that's his humor. That he's always been kind of dry. Don Holio saying that Chester Chivo has blocked him for some reason.
I want the dirt. What's going on here, Chester?
Yeah,
Chester,
Don. Yeah, Don Holio, what's up? Do you have some information we don't know about Chester Chivo?
We got another one. We've got Generation X-Wing tweeting in with the AOL instant Pucknology.
No, that's he's done that one before, but it's still fucking brilliant. But he's done that one before. I've seen that.
Oh, and his password, if you guys look at it, it says Dan Boyle sucks.
Oh gosh, where's Chris?
In other news, the Sharks climb out of the basement on the power play. They're now 25th in the league.
Jesus Christ! Thank God. How are they on the PK? Last time I saw it was 16th.
17th is what I saw earlier today, but they could have changed. I don't know.
They inexplicably they are at.
Well, other teams could have leapfrogged them today.
It's true.
Yeah, but you gotta love these SAP stats. They don't.
Are they 25% wrong?
Yeah, something like that.
25%
Gen X
more
is
wrong.
gonna like that.
They are tied for 13th place in the NHL, so they moved up 2 spots tonight.
Ooh.
Hey, just try to get that both of those back into the top 10. Ryan Bear asking, will Gary Thorne be providing play-by-play for the 2016 World Cup of Hockey on ESPN?
I believe he
no idea.
is.
I would hope so.
I would believe that they would jump on. Although I don't think.
Oh, NHL Tie is saying Thorne does not work for ESPN anymore.
Exactly. Thorne doesn't work for ESPN anymore. I think he just does Baltimore Orioles baseball.
Yes.
So I would think that, and also because it's an NHL thing, I would think that more than anything, they would just shift Emmerich and Pierre and Oldchick along with Strader and
Barry
Inglam
Melrose.
over, and have Barry Melrose.
Oh yeah, Barry Melrose.
Are
along
you
with
kidding
Matthew
me?
Barnaby.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll be the combination of John Butchergrass and Barry Melrose
Oh,
as your play-by-play.
excuse me.
Quick, somebody better get
Right.
that. All right. I think that's all of it.
We're
for us
polishing it
tonight.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
might
think
as well. Especially since I have to be at work in 5 hours and 51 minutes.
And for those of you that are new to our silly little shit show here, and we totally appreciate you on board. And once again, if you could hit one of that little subscribe button down there, we'd very much appreciate it. We love the interaction on the Google chat and on Twitter.
And make sure you see Pucknology After Dark and Pucknology.net for your great source for your final word in Sharks hockey.
Oh, we're still on with that tagline still?
King Shark has let it grown on me, so I'll give him that. Good job, Daryl.
He's infected me too.
Just like Justin Ron's elbow.
That's right.
All right, so Sharks win 5-2 over the Calgary Flames. They are still a point back of LA in the Pacific Division. They play Tuesday night in those beautiful throwback jerseys against mighty Pittsburgh. That's a 7:30 start. Make it more like 7:45 because of the Marlowe ceremony, and of course the Blackhawks game will obviously go into an overtime or a shootout.
Yep.
Because they're on NBCSN beforehand.
Hold on, it's against the Islanders. I don't know that I'd count on that one.
Well, let me always say this. Of course, the game goes before. Of course, the game before us goes into overtime.
Yeah.
Wherever there's a will, there's a way. I mean, shoot, Montreal lost to New Jersey tonight, so.
Yeah, no
Buffalo beat Nashville 4-1. That's pretty interesting.
It was a hell of a day at sea, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think everybody in the Bay Area won. Sharks, Warriors, Cal, Stanford. So.
Oh my God, that Stanford game! Holy shit! But yes.
All right, Eric, take us home.
All right, so we will talk to you Tuesday night because we're your only post-game show. So, Brody, I know you're watching, and if you're bored, by all means, and you want to join us, we can talk about your number 9 tie ranking again.
Ooh.
Really? We're gonna throw that out there again, are we? Seriously throwing it out there?
Let's turn that 9 into a 6. We'll take it to the next level. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. See, that'll match his jersey number for the fantasy.
Of course, then I need to sleep. That's when Brody would come on.
Yeah.
Of course. So for AJ Strong, Ian Reed, Eric Landy, Gentry Alexander, Wendell McGowan, Rocket Backhander, Daryl Martin, Felix.
He's coming back.
Randall Hahn.
This is the guy who started the wave tonight, by the way.
Aw, death to Sharky.
Hey, that's my buddy. All right. Sharky, start dancing. Have a good night. Keep it real. Keep it fresh. Keep it real fresh. Sharky, go.